Hello, moo cows and skibidi Dionysus statements, likewise. Today, I just went in, and now we are going to play some Guitar Fiv on the Ekbachianism Tray 6, while my Shigwarpian Skizit Flizzits renders on the Computer Elilos. Because last time I tried to play games while this shit was rendering, motherfuckers played games back and that shit got corrupted. So we're gonna go play Ekbach. And then the specific selection of the day is, as mentioned, Guitar Fiv. We're not playing online because I don't have Xbox Live. But what we are going to do is... I don't even know if this version has an online for Xbox. But what I'm going to try to do... You know what? I'll put it this way. If the Futo cars are spawning, I'm going to run this reverse scam that I do. Which is, since Franklin can upgrade cars for free, I find all these Futos, and then I take them to the garage, and I soup them up, and then I go out and I find an unmodified Futo, and I swap it for the unmodified one. It's basically free money. I'm doing community service. I can also do it with other cars, but I prefer to do it with the Futo. So I'll just show you my process. If I can't find the Futos, I'll do it with other cars. I've got to be mindful of the battery too. I don't really have any other plans to... Oh, I have some other responsibilities I have to take care of. I have to take my truck back into the shop because I think the belt is making a squeaky noise on startup because we just replaced the alternator, and I think the alternator had to replace because there was a coolant leak. And when they replaced the coolant leak situation, something didn't quite get done correctly, and it leaked onto the alternator. I think it caused corrosion. And then when they replaced the alternator, for some reason now the belt makes a really crazy ass noise on startup, which might just be the tensioner. They might just need to mess with the tensioner, but also the alternator might not be the same rating as the one that they took out. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I still haven't gotten my certificate, and I don't have all the tools that make it easy. So we're still taking it into the shop instead of me doing it myself for now. Let's go. Da 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 da. One must bongify thou'st of the self. And we're keeping it Tony tone low because I'm don't want the copyright. Mucking Foron. So we'll just go into town here. Oh, I'm sorry, radio. You're gonna have to... Whoops. I just spent bullets. I'm sorry, radio. You're gonna have to stop now because... Thank you. The radio has to stop because I'm being attacked online. And I don't want to post stuff with potentially copyrighted material. I wish you guys would just recognize that I literally basically own the music industry, and that all your base are belong to me. Stop fighting me on this. But we'll have to get there as we get there. Alright, so now we go on a Seeker mission. I may have to choose something other than a Futo to do this with. Or at least at first. Why do I hear a helicopter? Absolutely not, fam. We're we're gonna go to the gun store too so I can plate up. What's that little yellow bar? Man, armor's way more expensive in offline mode. I got used to that $500 armor plate.
Can't go wrong with that guy.
Playing online has really helped my skills, I think. Or it helped me put my mind in a more operative state. Oh, you know what? I just realized... Hold on, now we have to start again. I'm sorry, hold on. I realized that, I always have to load the game. Because it seems to... Sometimes it seems to not load from the save state. I'm not sure why. It sometimes will load. That one may have done so, because I remember putting those clothes on Franklin last time. But I've noticed it tends to load from a point that I didn't save at. Like, or I saved at, but then like did a bunch of stuff afterwards, and it doesn't load from the save state that I created there. It seems to load from like the end of the campaign save state or something. Which, that doesn't make sense either, because it's like, whatever. Anyway, I'm just double checking. Now I have to play it up again. Actually, let's take the Futo out. Let's take... I want to actually do this now. And it might make them start spawning, too. So we'll go for a quick drive. And then we'll bring it back. Yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to end up using a different type of vehicle to upgrade for people. But I'll just give you the gist of it after I go for a quick drive. Wait, I should go the other way though. Oh wait, which button is that the right handbrake button? I just realized like controls might be different. Yep, that's the handbrake button. Ah, I found one. That means they're probably gonna start. Yep, hopefully they'll start spawning now. And now I can start. Ah! Now I can go back and bring my other car down, the insured vehicle. I really like how in online you can insure the Futo, but you can't do that in offline. So hopefully those Futos will stay spawning. No guarantees. Aw, the radio's on again. Please stop. I love the radio, but you can't do that. Alright, so hopefully now we'll take the charger out. Yep, here's one. Alright, time for repossession mode. Excuse me. I'm gonna need you to exit the vehicle so I can turn your car into something really sick. Let's go. Take my car for a while. You didn't have to roll on the ground. You didn't have to be so dramatic. You could have just gotten out. I knew it. Let's go. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Whee! I love this car. Oh, I forgot the radio. Also, I would like to comment that years ago, but I had only just started playing GTA online recently, but years ago I saw a video of someone doing these sick drifts, and I was like, how the hell? And I was like, they must be using mods or something, right? And then I found out that you can do drift tuning in online. Recently, I got my first drift tuning done on my Futo in the game. And and it all made sense then. It's really fun. The drift tuning is really cool. But you can also drift without a drift tuning, as I'm doing now. Also, I'm pretty sure that in online, right across from this garage is where I have my holy shit! Wait, hold on. Look at this. Alien contact. Ash Ketchum is he's here. Anyway, yeah, right across from this garage is the money printing service that I have in GTA Online. So yeah, what I do is I basically just do all of the performance upgrades. We'll get to the other stuff later. Let me just make sure all the performance stuff is done first. I don't particularly like doing turbo tuning on this vehicle. I like to leave it unturboed. And the basic wheels are really good for this car. Like the stock wheels are really good. But there's one called there's some wheels that are called Fujiwara. And that's obviously because of Takumi Fujiwara. And so I don't know where they are, but let's see if we can find them. Why can't I see them? There they are, Fujiwara. They're basically the same, if you'll notice. They're basically the same as the stock wheels. And also, in real life, I think these are the Watanabe wheels. That stock color is kind of interesting. But I think I want the alloy. I like the light smoke because I think having a little bit of a tint is cool, but I also think if you go too dark with your tinting, then you run the risk of crashing or not seeing something. Brakes. Okay, bumper time. I think the best way to go for this car is the custom front splitter because the wheel wells here, they don't really do much. They don't actually extend the wheel well. Or at least, let me double check that. Okay, they extend it a little bit, but it's not like you can stance this car. It's already max stance, and it's already flush. Now, if you could push those wheels out a little farther, that like put a spacers on them, that'd be cool, but you don't need it. Hold on, I forgot. Does the custom front splitter... Okay, the custom front splitter has a tow hook, which means that we can do drift bumper and charm. That's a balanced one. Exhaust, I think raced exhaust is unnecessary, and it also doesn't look as cool as the titanium exhaust. And Shakotan exhaust is dangerous. It also, you could say it looks cool, but like realistically, I like this one. And I've gone through pretty much every I'll leave that on there. Stock hood is fine, I guess. Lights, regular lights, plate, antique, respray, primary, classic, matte. And then the bottom secondary, I'll do a matte black. I don't need a roof thing. I do need skirts. Spoiler. My dad likes the regular lip spoiler. I kind of like the ducktail one. We'll do the regular one. Yeah, that's all for now. Oh, wait. No, I'm going to put the other one on. I'm going to put the other one on. No, I'm going to leave it like this. Just kidding. We're going to do this one. Because if I do the ducktail spoiler, then I'm going to want to put... If I do the ducktail spoiler, I'm going to want to put a different hood on it also. Or, yeah. So we'll just do it like this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back to the neighborhood, and I'm going to put it in someone's driveway. And hopefully we'll see another one when I get close. We'll drive around for a little bit to make sure that they're spawning. Or maybe I'll find... No, I think actually, yeah, what a better idea is drive back over here, see if we can find one that has spawned in that area, park, stop in front of them, make them get out, leave this one, and then take theirs and do the same thing. And what I was doing before is I was doing this at the prison, because the prison is right down the road from the garage. Except every time I do that at the prison, I run the risk of getting shot at, because when I take a car from the parking lot, if they see me, they start shooting at me, and that gets old really quick. But I did do, like, I ran like 20 of them, or at least, for the prison system. But now I do it this, now I'm gonna do it this way. Hold on, sorry, I have to kill these people. Hey, what the fuck?
You happy now?
Sorry about that, guys. I just had to save this young woman.
Would you give me a ride home? I don't want to walk back on my own.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Come on, let's get out of here.
Thank you. I'm staying just off Sonora Road by the Redwood Lights track.
So what the hell was that? Who were those guys?
I've no idea. I was just talking to a friend on my cell phone when I hear them behind me yelling about the Industrial Revolution and the internet. At first I thought, oh, a couple of senile old-timers must have wandered out of the nursing home. So I'm like, did you get lost? Is there anyone I can call? Then they start really shouting at me how I'm dead wood, that I've failed as a generation. And next thing you know, they've got me pinned down on the ground. Terrifying. It was so disgusting. They stink like spoiled ham, crispy hands all over me, ranting about how technology is evil.
Yeah, except they was in the car.
Exactly. I'm thinking maybe they're like those weird religious folks who live out east that you see on MeTV, who publicly reject modern life. Here we are. Thank you so much. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't come along.
Aw, damn it. Now I have to take it back to the... Oh, what the fuck? That was unacceptable. Now we have to take this thing back to the garage, though, before I turn it in.
What can the best mechanic in LS do for you?
Alright, and now we're going to take it back to the area that I was talking about. Ah! Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Stop going forward. I'm trying to get around you. Thank you. Okay, now you can go forward. By the way, I'm listening to the new Service 95 interview with the guy who is interviewing the guy who wrote the book about the Crow. I have it turned down on volume because same issue. Wait, let me make sure it's still the interview. Yeah, it's still the same interview. Okay. Tee-hee. So I'm not gonna keep this one for myself, like I said. That was close. Yep, so let's just drive it around the area for a little bit and see if any of these other ones spawn. I might have to go hunting in town for another one. The thing is, if you didn't know, sometimes the car that you're driving shows up, like the type of car that you're driving shows up in the environment when you're driving it. Sometimes, not always. But it's a good way to try to get one. If you notice, before I was driving my personal one, there weren't any spawning in the area, and I hopped in to mine and I drove around, and that's how I found it. And then you saw I went back, and that's how I found one. So that's what I'm doing now, is hoping that another one will show up. And if it doesn't, I'll just go put it, like, maybe I'll put it in my driveway and someone else can pick it up. Alright, well, I don't see any of the other ones. I'll go back up this way and drive in the hills for a little bit. They might be doing this so that they can try to crash me so that I have to take it all the way back to the garage again. But I'm just going to drive carefully. Oh, I think hold on. The podcast ended, and I'm going to play it again. This is the fourth time I'm listening to it. Skibidi Garizo, hi. Yo guys, samu no honto ni desu ta. Igiri sukutan de urta pasani kanuka takachika. Askibidabadubi, askibidoober. Askibidi yakada blukdam sen kurta kasa kurda naka nakaseo. Scooby goop doop da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba do ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba do ba da 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 ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da bo ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da bo string dotarne usata kuturta pesa. All right, I've made an executive decision. I'm gonna leave this car right here. And then I'm gonna go back home. Whee! Hold on. It's cool that I left that car there, because the other day online I did that ramp that's right next to it, and I landed right in the corner of the patio. Not on the wood part, but in the corner of the patio, and it was perfect. And then I realized that house has a really cool patio in the back of it. This one does too. That's a cool pool. I love the views in this game. That's a cool house too. I love the architecture in this game. I'm looking forward to Architecture Simulator. Or wait, no, it's not called that. It's called... what? Architecture Life? There's a new Architecture Simulator coming out. Supposedly it's supposed to be released in June, I think. And it is April right now. And I want to play it with my dad because I think first he was going to do architecture in school, and then I think he's pretty good at technical drawing, and then and he's done some building and renovating, but he ended up doing, I guess, what was the first thing? Education? No. What was it? What was his undergraduate? I'm trying to remember. Well, his master's was in, I think, educational technology. But anyway, so that's it works well because he used to design. I remember when I was in high school, he was designing a house on some like actual program, like to put it next door if we decided to knock that house down, because we have two houses right next to each other. But we didn't end up knocking it down, and now I'm working on renovating it a little bit with him, just as a clubhouse. But I think having the like architecture simulation in a game is going to be pretty cool because it's it would be much less like worky and much more play-y. And I like that. Oh, it also goes around. This is a good time for me to present an idea I have that I'd like to work on. But I need more time, and I'd like some help with this. Sorry, Franklin, I didn't know you were gonna fall. I'll make sure you get a health pack when you get inside. So I have a really good idea for, like, a game, and it would be like a music studio simulator. We can call it something different if that name is already taken. But I want to start... Here, this is a great time... Wait, hold on. Let me get a health pack, and then I'll have Franklin smoke the bong. And then we can talk about this, because it'll be really cool. Health pack first, though. Oh, I can have wine? Perfect. I didn't know I could do that. So basically, the idea that I have is... I want to create a ground-up... It's actually more of an emulator, like a studio emulator, because having gone to class and seeing some of the hardware that's used that the plugins are based off of, those are emulators. They are pieces of software that act like the hardware. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a game where basically you have a virtual studio space where you can create hardware, and it would be based on a physics simulator. Like, you just start as a basic physics simulator and you create materials like wires, transistors. This is for the development process, I mean. Maybe we could even use it in the game, like actually as part of the game you actually learn how to make wire and transistors and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. Include a ceramics tutorial. Wait, where's he available to sit down? I wish you could have him sit at where the bong is. That would be my choice, but I think you have to have him sit at the TV. So let's have him go stand by the music stuff. Yeah. We'll just have him chill right here for now. But yeah, what I was like, so basically like this, like how you have this set up, except like imagine that you could actually build these components. Like imagine that you could build a pair of speakers, for example. That you could buy a schematic for a pair of speakers, and that you could actually build the speaker in the game, and that you could then like hear it. Like if you had headphones on or something, you could hear it like coming out of the speaker. Like a much more in-depth thing, and I would want to make it not just a game, but also like you could actually make music with it. So like, let's say you wanted a compressor built for your, like, imagine instead of vinyls down here, we had hardware, like for studio stuff, and you wanted a compressor. Well, imagine that you could actually custom, like, choose the dimensions of it, and then custom build the internals, and then you actually learn something along the way about how the compressor works, and you also get to choose like how it looks and stuff. So then you build it, and then you can actually use it and it works, because like that's how an emulator works basically. Especially if you've ever used Max for Live, you'd understand what I'm saying. But like having it actually be like a physical simulator excuse me, I hiccuped. Like a physical emulator where you can basically, you're designing your own plugins, but they show up in the game as actual hardware. And you could design plugins too. That's the thing, is like you could also have a tutorial for designing plugins. And then my idea would be like you could have your audio interface and you could actually interface your real, like for example, your mic. If you have a microphone, you could interface your microphone and then use the game as a digital audio workshop. And you could even have like an in-game microphone that basically it's just it would be just like a filter that makes your microphone sound like that microphone or something to that effect. I think you get what I'm saying. I think it'd be super fun to have that. That's my game design idea. One of my game design ideas. I think it'd be even cooler to incorporate that idea into an open world game just like GTA, except that it's not GTA, it's just like it's not like contingent on the criminal aspect. Like I was also saying, it'd be really cool to have a game where you can like if you look at the game called Automation, like the Car Tycoon game, you can own a car factory. And if you could have a car factory and design your own cars, then you don't need to steal them. You can just build them. And then I still like the idea of like being able to serve drugs and stuff like that, like the weed farm and stuff, except instead of advertising it as a criminal operation, advertising it as a legitimate business. Like basically all of the same stuff, except instead of glorifying the criminal lifestyle, like showing how you, like educating people on how you can do this stuff in real life and how it really works, like with like doing things the right way. And then you can use the game as inspiration as long as it lines up with like actual like how the system works. Then you could actually just use the game as inspiration and practice for your business and stuff like that. And that it can even have like shooting and stuff, except it's not like you don't get the police called on you because you have clearances, and that it shows up when someone's hostile. Same thing, shows up when someone's hostile. And if like you accidentally hurt a civilian, it would come out of your insurance fund and stuff like that. You wouldn't just like leave them on the ground. Like you would see a little marker that says insurance claim filed, stuff like that. I think that would be cool. That's my game idea. Stuff like that. You can extrapolate from there, but you understand, I think, what I'm getting at. But it's contingent on the, if I can only do one part of it, I would choose just the music studio simulator. And I just also want to build out that other part, the other aspect of the game. So, I was happy to talk about that. You saw what I do with the other cars and why I feel entitled to having, when I got to GTA Online, why I feel entitled to having quote-unquote stolen one of the Futos to soup it up, to start the game. It's like, no, I actually like put in a lot of work to like karmically lay some claim on them, so that I'm not just like stealing shit. I actually put in even though the game mechanism didn't like directly encourage me to do this, in fact I struggled with it, I still figured out a way to make it like viable, I guess. I have a lot of fun playing this game. So anyway, I think that's all I'm gonna film for now. I might keep playing a little bit, but I just want to keep this video a bit brief. So thanks for watching, and if you want this to be me and Dua's house and that book DS to stand for Dua Stewart, smash like and subscribe, and also please have an orgasm to my content. Thank you.